Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. If you haven't done so yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. This is not really a preview or anything like that, and it's unfortunate because I am trying to turn this into a combat sports news network, and we're going to talk about stuff whether it's good or bad, exciting or depressing, and we got to be real about things. I mean, this is what you do when you do a podcast, when when it's journalism and stuff like that. And this is not something that I am happy to talk about, but I mean, I feel like the reality is I am reporting on what's going on in combat sports, interviewing fighters, letting you know what's up, trying to be that go-to for combat sports information. And I was just looking at our local. I'm in South Florida, looking at our local Channel 7 website, which is one of the what is the Fox network down here in South Florida. And apparently, BKFC fighter Peter Peraza has been arrested. The story is on Channel 7 WSVN.com, and it's definitely a concerning situation. Appears that there was an attempt to execute an April 1st warrant on him to arrest him. Um, what it states in the article is that on that date, the investigators said an altercation between Peraza and another man turned physical after the latter's ex-girlfriend, Lillian Goodman, showed up unannounced at his apartment, located along Southwest South River Drive in Miami, demanding he give her money for rent. When he refused, police said Goodman threatened him and called her friend Peraza, who kicked the other man, and told him he could murder him. He beat the victim terribly, and he said, "I can murder you," said a prosecutor during Peraza's bond hearing. Peraza and Goodman then stole the victim's phone, laptop, Gucci watch, and camera, police said. Then the victim then attempted to escape, but he fell and broke his foot, then approached the front desk and asked them to notify authorities. According to social media, Peraza is a fighter associated with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So we knew he was a fighter or somebody that was determined, said Laura Bergman, a witness. We kept thinking, well, what is so bad on the other end of the law that he's trying to evade that? Fast forward to Tuesday night when things escalated into a standoff that lasted several hours. This is a very bad situation here. Um, Let me get back to where I was. Special response teams swarmed the neighborhood after obtaining enough evidence to execute an arrest warrant, which left people locked out of their homes and feeling uneasy. They told me I couldn't come outside, so I went back to my apartment to lock my door and lock my balcony, but my balcony didn't lock, and they were telling us that someone was scaling the building, said Bergman. That basically what ends up happening is his cell phone videos show heavily armed officers entering the building, searching floor by floor for Peraza, who was seen scaling balconies in an attempt to evade arrest. There's all kinds of rumors that were on this thing, but you know, apparently from the report, Peraza went down 7 floors from the 19th floor to the 12th floor, scaling the building. I mean, Lord have mercy. That is crazy. Again, all of this is reported. The everything in terms of arrests are always allegations, and you have your day in court. But he went down several floors, 7 floors from the 19th to the 12th, until he finally climbed into an apartment and hid there. Fortunately, nobody was home. Surveillance video from inside the unit shows the suspect crouching behind a love seat and looking at the front door. I was next to our property manager when our property manager received the call, said Bergman. He picked up the phone and the call said, "He's in my apartment. He's in my apartment. Help." And our property manager ran as fast as he could so he could speak to police. Security footage shows police officers entering the unit and looking at what appears to be a hallway. Moments later, Peraza is seen kneeling with his hands up at the entrance to the unit, facing toward the living room as officers stood behind him. Cell phone video recorded by Bergman shows officers escorting the suspect out of the apartment in handcuffs and with a shirt over his head. Peraza appeared before Miami-Dade County Circuit Court Judge Mindy Glazer on Wednesday afternoon. She read him the charges from April 1st. It's a burglary with an assault or battery, which is a crime punishable by life in prison if you're found guilty. False imprisonment, grand theft, criminal mischief over $1,000, tampering with the victim, and strong arm robbery, burglary to an unoccupied dwelling, and resisting an officer without violence. He's being held without bond at Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center in West Miami-Dade. That is the story on WSVN. We'll link it in the description. This is obviously very, very unfortunate for the entire situation. I mean, I've had Peter Peraza on the podcast. Very personable guy. Pleasure to talk to. Obviously, a lot of these guys have gone through a lot. They think a little bit differently, and sometimes that can get you in trouble. You got to remember, as a professional fighter, you are easily found, man. I mean, it's just not you got to think before you act. Obviously, I don't know the details of it other than what's being said here in the story, but you're not scaling buildings if something didn't happen. The fact that it took 7 weeks to execute this warrant, it's wild to me. He's not exactly hard to find from in my mind, but yeah, this is a bad look. This is obviously a bad situation. I can't imagine Peter Peraza is going to fight again in the BKFC. Maybe he does. Maybe he somehow gets is able to get through this situation, but more than likely, I mean, with these types of charges, with the situation that happened, just based on what's described, again, these are all allegations. Based on what's described, this would be, and the fact that I know my father was a criminal court judge for 5 years. There's going to be jail time here. This would be, even in a plea bargain, there's going to be jail time. Now, he's not going to be found. He's not going to he's not going to have life in prison for this. But when you're a professionally trained fighter, you gotta understand. You gotta remember that you are a deadly weapon in itself as a person. Forget about having a weapon. You're a deadly weapon yourself. So this is obviously a shocking situation. And then on top of that, stealing the phone, the laptop, the Gucci watch, the camera. Now you're talking about some, what they call it, criminal mischief over $1,000. Yeah, it's a grand theft charge. The grand theft charge alone. I mean, you see, now you're committing a crime after committing a crime. It's like, oh boy, strong arm robbery. Then you're breaking into people's houses to hide. It's bad, man. This is a bad situation. Obviously, don't know what the BKFC is going to do here, but this is something that obviously you don't want to have, and you definitely, as an organization, you don't enjoy having these types of things attached to your organization. And when that happens, you pretty much know that it would be shocking. And it would be, to me, as someone who covers these types of sports, I mean, it would be shocking to see the BKFC just ignore this. They're not going to ignore this, but we'll see. I not a whole lot of words on this. I mean, I'm just unfortunate. Hope Peraza gets through the situation without too much, but you got to pay. You do the crime, you got to do the time. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You make decisions in your life, and sometimes this is what comes out. Anyhow, if we find out more about it, we will certainly let you know. But this is the situation right now. Again, the link is in the bio. That's all we got. This is Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.
I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm